And where is that coming from? What is that? Oh, okay. Okay. I think we're back now. I think we're back. Okay. So let's chat. I know it's been a little bit, there's been a lot going on. It's just, you know, just a lot going on. But I'm here today. And I've actually wanted to come live and talk about this all week because I was with one of my clients earlier this week and we were chatting about her Pinterest performance. She had, purchased a multi-session package with me to get her Pinterest up and running. And, within the first week, her pins exploded from just a couple hundred views, which she was grateful for in the beginning. And like the second week, it jumped from like 300 views to like close to 10,000. And she's close to 6,000 now. It has dropped off. And we both were okay with that because here's the deal: the Pinterest performance, like all social media, are number one currently being impacted by the election. Okay. And hear me out. And hear me out. Okay. Even though election information is not on Pinterest, they purposely keep that type of information away from their app because their goal is for it to be a very positive environment. Okay. And so they take significant steps to ensure that their platform remains free from political information. And I don't believe they allow, I've never seen a political ad or anything like that on Pinterest. However, we are less than 2 weeks away from the final date because the election has already well underway in a lot of places, a lot of states, right? So people are getting to that point where they are going through fatigue, right? They're going through fatigue. You see people post about it, all the mailings, all the people knocking on the doors, all the emails, all the text messages, right? It's to the point that my candidate, like, I'm going to feel like we broke up after this is all over with because that's how many text messages I'm receiving each day. So, because people are experiencing fatigue, I think they may be spending a little less time online because I'm not just seeing it on Pinterest. I'm seeing it on other platforms. I've checked forums, I've checked in communities with my clients, large influencers and creators, and everyone is seeing a dip in not so much necessarily traffic, but in views, which, if you understand the way the numbers work, views are what leads to clicks. People have to first see your stuff in order to be able to click on it, right? And you need a massive amount of views in order to get enough traffic to your website, to your landing page to get clicks. So it goes views, right? You need views, you need pin clicks, and then you need outbound clicks, right? And so the amount of views, the amount of pin clicks is going to be a smaller number compared to the total number of people who first, impression, but then views. And then an even smaller number of those who actually click through the pin are going to click through to your on your link, right? And so whether that's to a blog post, a landing page, an affiliate link, which you really want to kind of shy away from having the click be directly to an affiliate link, right? And so, I would be remiss to not mention that the election and people going through election fatigue is not impacting not only Pinterest, but honestly, pretty much all platforms, I think, except the Clock app. I don't think the Clock app is experiencing it as much. I haven't really even put a lot of thought into it. I'm just kind of like riffing on this right now as we go. So I don't feel like the Clock app is seeing a decline in the amount of people who are viewing your content and interacting with your content. But it also may depend on which side of the Clock app you are on. Okay. On my side, from what I see, my own, because everybody's algorithm is personalized, I'm not seeing that. So, that's that, right? So, Pinterest does restrict political ads and election related content during this period. And so that means searches or interest around political topics are either limited or redirected to credible sources like vote.org. This is the reason for this focus is to prevent misinformation and minimizing political content, and it may reduce overall engagement on non political content as users shift attention toward civic issues, right? And so I guess if I were to say that's why I think the Clock app is not experiencing the downturn is because I think people go to the Clock app for civic related issues. They switch their attention to the Clock app for civic issues. Many of the influencers that were at the conventions for each party are primarily the Clock app creators, right? And so that's why possibly the Clock app is not seeing the decline that the other apps are seeing. However, I will say with the Clock app, and I know we're talking Pinterest here, that I am noticing a shift in my For You page. And I know it's largely due to the content that I interact with, of course, but I am seeing that. Thank you so much for the love. Thank you, boy in KWT. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay. So it would be negligible to not say that the election is not impacting your performance on Pinterest, my performance on Pinterest. Very large accounts, people who I know hold steady are actually I've seen, you can, because their views is posted right there. I don't get access to their other data, but their views is posted right there on their profile. And you can see that it is down, in some cases, a couple million views, a couple 100,000 views from what it normally is. So that leads me to believe that it is beyond just the election. Okay. So if you are new here, my name is Tamara Hamilton. I have over 30 years of sales, marketing, and leadership experience. I'm a digital marketing strategist for many years now. And I help my clients get more traffic to their offers and collect more leads using digital marketing. Okay. And so as we're talking about the impact of Pinterest, that we all know the reason I love Pinterest is because Pinterest is a great source for organic traffic, right? Like I said, you get the views, right? And then from the views, people click on your pin. And of those that click on your pin, so many are going to, a much smaller number are going to click on your link, and that link can go to a myriad of different places. Now, check this, okay? The name of the game is volume, right? Is volume. And Pinterest has grown significantly in the recent years, okay? So, with that being said, Pinterest is more competitive, right? We saw it happen with IG, we saw it happen with, you know, FB. We've seen it happen with the Clock app. As these apps grow, the performance that you once got organically does tend to decline because, you know, they are for public tradedly company. Pinterest is a publicly traded company, right? So it's on the stock exchanges, right? So they have stockholders that they need to appease, and that means they need to turn a profit. And how they turn a profit is through ad revenue. Okay. Now they have not released their third, let's see. Yeah, they have not released third quarter results yet, but it's coming in the next week or so, right? And so far this year, Pinterest has, oh, actually, they have announced it. Okay, my bad. All right. So they had 763 million, which went up 11% year over year. It's $763 million, right? Their global monthly active users is 482 million. I feel like that's a slight dip. Okay. So Q3 grew 11%. It actually did increase 8% year over year, but quarter over quarter, I do think it's down. Um, and then they talk about their net income and that, right? And so a lot of this is because of Gen Z. It's also due to global performance, right? And Pinterest is in this space where, much like the Clock app, they are really focused on shoppable video and shoppable content. I keep telling you that Pinterest and Amazon go together real bad, right? Amazon also is going to go together with TikTok, right? And so we all know that on the Clock app, for example, like I've seen people go live and then they do that TikTok shop and TikTok live. That is a great way for your content to be seen by more people, but it needs to be authentic, it needs to be genuine, and you have to abide by those rules, right? And so rather than tell you, oh, go become a TikTok shop affiliate in order to grow your account and grow your views, you got to have a strategy. And it's the same thing with Pinterest, right? It also does not mean that simply because the app is more focused on shoppable video and content, if you don't have shoppable video or content in your strategy, that you should ignore the platform. It does, however, mean, and this is how Pin Profits Mastery came about. Almost said it like a Canadian or up north there, hey, Wisconsin or Minnesota, a boat, right? How it came, a boat, how Pinterest Pin Profits Mastery came about is because I saw the importance of video, whether it be shoppable or not, on Pinterest, right? And so they are making, some notable algorithm changes. Are they verbalizing that? Are they putting that in writing? But no, but it's been no secret, especially working with them as closely as I have as a creator, that they are definitely focusing on fresh, high quality content and especially video. Here's what I am going to tell you about that. And my clients know this, my students know this. You should not only be posting video content. That is a mistake that I've seen people make. Okay. Because video content, while shoppable, still does not get the clicks that static pins get, because there is still needing to be more of an education process to actual pinners. The pin user base has not yet gotten there. The platform is ahead of it. It's what the platform wants. It's within the platform's goals. However, user adaptation has not caught up yet. Okay. So I'm going to say that again, right? The algorithm definitely is favoring video in terms of impression, in terms of reach. However, for conversions, to collect those leads, to generate new customers, the user base has not fully adapted to understanding that they can click the button beneath a pin and get over to your link and see what's going on over there. They just have not, because most other platforms are not there yet, right? If they are a more of a savvy Clock app user, they may get it, they may understand, but by and large, especially those people who are from the world of FB, and really even IG, because supposedly IG is shoppable, and I don't think it ever went anywhere on IG, but shoppable video does do well over there. The other thing is you can still tag product. A lot of my affiliate income from Pinterest actually comes from tagging the Zon links right into the pin, and it gets prominent. So there's multiple ways. There's a little bit of a layering to making your video shoppable. Okay. So yes, the algorithm continues to be refined, fresh pins, high quality content. And I've heard that even with fresh pins now, they even want you to freshen up the link a little bit, but you should be doing that. If you are a blogger anyway, you should be going back and updating your blog as needed, and at least every year to 2 years, right? Because especially depending on your niche, things are changing and you need to update it. And so that's what they mean. I assume they mean when they say they even want to see the link updated a little bit. Okay. So if you are primarily relying on static pins, or you haven't updated your content strategy to include video, your pins might see a decline during these updates. Okay. The other thing is advertisement. Okay. We are going into the holiday shopping season. And so, because of the full funnel that Pinterest allows you to be able to reach your would-be customer and even convert them to become a customer, there are going to be increased ads, right? And as they increase paid traffic and paid views, that's got to come from somewhere mathematically, and that could be your views. Okay, so we already talked a little bit about increased competition, that there's more businesses and more users posting on Pinterest. And some people would say saturated. It's still far from saturated, with about half a billion, 500 million, sometimes slightly more than that, monthly active users. Okay. So you have to be able to stand out. So again, sometimes it literally just boils down to your content. Is your content worthy enough to stop the scroll? Is your content good enough to make people stop and pay attention, click on the pin, and actually save the pin, share the pin, right? And so that is one of the things I actually help my clients with, is, making sure that they are, one, setting up their pins to be optimized for search and discoverability, but also folding in trending content to increase their visibility overall, to bring more people in, and making sure that their profile has a look and a feel to it that makes people want to follow them. Although followers are just not that important on Pinterest, and they're becoming less and less important across all platforms. Okay. Follower count is a true vanity metric. Okay. I only say that because the thing with follower is, it hopefully is someone, it is a measure of intent, in that they want to keep coming back to your content, and they find your content valuable enough to raise their hand and say, I want to begin to build the relationship with this creator. Okay. So SEO, that's one of the things I help my clients with, creating high quality pins. Like, one of my clients, we literally set up her process for her VAs, right? Because my leadership, that's where my leadership skills kicked in. And it's like, okay, you're rolling your eyes and you're upset, but did you really set the expectation, right? Did you really set the expectation? Because if you're working with through someone else, be it AI, be it a virtual assistant, be it your teenage or college student at home, or an intern, you need to be able to clearly communicate what it is that you expect that outcome to look like, and even map out how to get there. So we set up a spreadsheet with very specific, detailed information, so that the pins that the VAs are creating is in alignment with the Pinterest strategy that we created. Because it's not cheap to develop a Pinterest strategy alongside me. It's not cheap, right? It's not going to break the bank, but it's not cheap, right? It is an investment, as it should be, because of the potential that, in a lot of cases, one client is going to more than pay for the investment in developing the Pinterest strategy with me. Okay. And so then she booked the sessions. So then together we were executing, and there was accountability. It was really, honestly, more of accountability sessions that she was paying me for, because the VAs were doing the work. Okay. And this is a high traffic period, because number one, we're wrapping up election season. We're moving into the holiday season, which really started with Labor Day, be completely honest with you. And to be honest with you, it's always holiday season in America. When is it not holiday season, right? I saw somebody create a TikTok, and they were talking about how every month there's a holiday, and that's why most people are broke. And I'm like, hello, I've been telling y'all that. I'm a marketer. I've been telling y'all that every single month. And then there's also, newer the holidays that they put in there, like National Donut Day, National Coffee Day, National Hot Dog Day, National Taco Day, National Lipstick Day, right? That the phrase Hallmark holiday, it rings true. There's a reason why that term is out there, right? Because some of the holidays were created for Hallmark to sell more cards, right? National Donut Day was created to sell more donuts. National Lipstick Day is created to sell more lipstick. Okay? So we have to understand that it really and truly is holiday season, and you can create a content calendar just around certain holidays. Okay? In my beauty business, July tends to be a softer month. It could be the lowest month of the year. And one of the great ways to buffer that is consistent promotional strategy. But then inside of that promotional strategy, either a flash sale or a full day or full week or whatever you want to around lipsticks, and generating more sales that way. Okay. So you have to know the seasonality of your business, and a great way to buffer that seasonality is with holidays, right? But it's called Black Friday for a reason. And I've known this since I was a kid, right? It's called Black Friday because most businesses operate in the negative, especially your retail-based businesses. They operate historically. Now, I don't know about the Red Bullseye folks, the Great Value folks. I don't know that they truly operate at a negative all year round in 2025. I personally don't believe that. In fact, what we could do is we could look up their stock information and find out, and we would probably see that they are not operating in a negative until Black Friday. But for especially your small local mom and pop, they often are, right? Your smaller local businesses, your state businesses, your regional businesses. Historically, that's where the term Black Friday came from. I don't know that that's true for a lot of them now because as far as I'm concerned, we're in 2025. So I understand when you're watching this, it may be 2024, but from a marketing and business standpoint, baby, we already well into first quarter of 2024. And you know why I say that. And that is because what you do today echoes in eternity. No, but what you do today, you can expect to see the impact of that 60 to 90 days later, typically. Okay. So what you're doing now is setting up, if it's almost early November, you're really working on February stuff. Okay. So you got to keep that in mind. You got to keep that in mind. You got to understand that. You got to know that. Okay. So, yeah, I mean, if your pins are down, this is why I think one of the things I work with in the strategy for my clients is not just developing pins that link direct to affiliate link or even just direct to your blog. That's one of about 5 places that I direct my clients in their strategy to send their pins to. Okay. Because you need diversity in the type of pins and where those pins are going to because of algorithmic changes. You need diversity in whether it's a static pin or a video pin because of algorithmic changes, right? Because remember, you are the brand, you are the content, you are the algorithm, right? And so by having that diversity in where the pins link to, it's a digital marketing strategy, not just simply a Pinterest strategy. Pick that up. Pick up what I'm throwing down there. We create it might be Pinterest centric, but it is still very much a digital marketing strategy, meaning we are going to send people to real estate that you own, not just to someone else's affiliate link, right? And there's a whole strategy behind that. I'm not going to get into all of it, but I will tell you this. Number one, we want to drive people traffic to your blog, and we want to drive people to where you can collect their data, right? So as algorithms are, remember I said whenever they make an algorithm change, it gets really, think about like a record scratching, right? It gets really chaotic, like the vibration really just kind of jumps, right? And so until it sizzles out, until it smooths out and normalizes again, you need to make sure that you compensate for that decrease in traffic by really personalizing, customizing, building, and nurturing with the leads that you already have in your system. Okay. That's when you need to amp up and you need to attend in person networking events. That's when you need to amp up and attend virtual networking events. That's when you need to be active in groups and serving and being visible. That's when you need to do more feature blog posts and write more substacks. That's when you need to be featured on more podcasts so that you are still, if you're not if you have a 200,000 view gap because of whatever is going on between the election competition and so on and so forth, you got to make that up, right? So how are you going to make that up? Okay, you need to be emailing your list, because that's the first thing y'all stop doing when you start getting traffic and sales without having to really touch anything. You stop texting your list. You stop emailing your list. And so that's why it's important to have a minimum threshold as part of your standard operating procedures so that you're not starting and stopping, and you can create predictable income that way, right? And then you can even amp it up, especially this time of year. Some of y'all haven't emailed your list, I would guess, since February or maybe last year this time. And now you're going to show up in their inbox, in their messages on their phone when they haven't heard from you and they've probably forgotten who you even are. And now it looks like the random at 2 a.m. WYD text. Now it's looking like, oh, now you want to text me because oh girl put you out. Now it's looking like, you want to spark things up again because whatever, right? And so you don't want to be that person. And that's why you need to be regularly reaching out to your list and nurturing it, not just when you want something, not just because it's the holidays or because the holidays are coming. Okay. So understand that just because things may be a little down, and we can attribute some of it to, election fatigue and the election season and people actually seeking out more, civics related content. When that ends, it doesn't mean your stuff is going to automatically go sharply up, because we are going into the holiday season and, advertisers will be paying, as they rightfully should, to be more visible. So that's one of the strategies I talked to one of my clients about. Like, hey, I would look at running some ads. I'm never going to be the one to poo-poo ads and act like paying for ads is like you're a horrible marketer because you pay for ads. Okay, that is just absolutely weird to me. And ads are a key part of any strategy that scales. If you want to scale your business, you are going to need to have some sort of advertising included, right? Anyone talking to you about creating a multi-million-dollar business and doing it all organically is sitting on a house of cards. And that's a little weird to me. I'm gonna just keep it real. Okay. I'm gonna just keep it all the way real with you, that in a traditional sense, especially when you're using these people's platforms, right? There was talk about an influencer who got demonetized or something in September, and her crashing out and blaming different demographics and stuff like that. Let me tell you something. These platforms know, and that's what people started coming out and saying. It was because she made too much money and they couldn't pay her. Now, whether or not they could not pay her, it's not my business. I don't know. But what I can tell you is these platforms are not really interested in you making a bunch of money without them getting their cut on their platform. So if you are getting a lot of traffic and you're making a lot of sales, but you're not rendering unto Caesar what is Caesar's by way of maybe boosting some posts, yeah, they're gonna get mad at you and they might yank out from you because what they gave you, they can take away from you because you don't own it. It is their land, it is their real estate, right? And that is why one of the things I like to work with my clients with is, yeah, run some paid ads to your blog, whether it be FB, IG, Pinterest, run some ads to ungated content to get people on there and consuming that content. Now, while you might not be directly sending them to something for a lead, the strategy that I work with my clients on includes your blog post being set up to collect leads. I'm not going to go into all of how we do that, but if you work with me, your website is going to be a lead generating machine in and of itself, right? So whether somebody gets directly to a landing page or they get to your blog, it's not going to be as high of a conversion as it is directly to a landing page, depending on traffic, right? But it can still produce leads for you, and it should. And you can use your organic and ungated content to generate those leads, but you need the right strategy, which means you need the right strategist. So let's do a little commercial because we haven't done one. If you are watching this and you're like, oh my God, I'm really loving what she's throwing down, reach out. You can text me at the LINK in my BIO. And you can don't just text info though, text me exactly what you're looking for. And we can book a strategy session. Okay. We can book a strategy session in order to, whether that be to review and analyze your current website, your social media, whether it be to review and analyze your current content strategy or lack thereof. We can definitely book a strategy session and even a half day or full day VIP session to get you set up, because that's what a lot of y'all are missing. Y'all missing strategy. You're out here trying to do everything for free. And that is the most costly way to do business, because it's a lot of time and a lot of trial and error and a lot of sifting through garbage. Yeah, I said it. It's a lot of sifting through garbage, because there's a lot of garbage content out there. And forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. Where you're getting getting bad advice from people who are out of touch. They don't know where the market is going, right? They're not keeping up with, the skills. They're not keeping up with what is working. They're still banging their head trying to make it work, right? One of my clients asked me, well, I don't want to do spend an hour engaging and commenting. And then it's like, you don't have to, but just know that if you don't have to, you're probably going to have to invest in some ads, right? You're going to have to make sure that because there's three: it's paid, earned, and owned. And you need to have all three. And if you don't want to focus heavily on earned, that is fair. But you still need to work diligently to get the traffic, and you're going to have to really focus on one or both of the other two buckets, which is paid and owned, right? And this world, yes, search engine optimization is great. It's even moving to ask engine optimization, right? So, if you're in a very highly competitive niche, you might not be able to really rely heavily on SEO. You got to generate a lot of traffic on your own. And that is probably going to include you running some paid ads. And there's nothing wrong with that. You are not a failure as a marketer. I don't know where that came from. Imagine if, say McDonald's never ran paid ads, or Best Buy or Target, right? Those are some of the biggest companies in the world. Walmart still runs paid ads. If they're running paid ads, why shouldn't you? Now, granted, of course, their budget is going to be much bigger. Of course it is. Of course, naturally it is. However, it doesn't preclude you from doing it. You should still be looking at that and considering that, because it's one of the fastest and best ways to scale. Now, I will say this, if you're running ads, you need to have a high converting offer. That's where a lot of y'all mess up. You don't know if your offer actually even converts or not yet. And that can cost you a lot of money to be testing, right? Can definitely cost you a lot of money because you have to really approach it with a testing mindset. But Pinterest is still very much a favored platform, especially because it gives you the search engine optimization, it gives you the traffic and really high quality leads, because pinners tend to have higher incomes and higher education levels. And so, you just have to understand. I told a lot of y'all to join Pin Profits Mastery last year. And then not only to join it, but to actually do the work. So, in a lot of cases, if people had done the work a year ago, they could really be benefiting from Pinterest right now. Okay. So that's the thing. Even with DBA, you can't just get it and think it's just going to work itself. By the way, DBA Volume 3 launches in about 2 weeks, right? You can get it at a very discounted rate right now by joining DBA Volume 2. Okay, you want Volume 2 because Volume 2 comes with Volume 1, and Volume 3, you will have to get Volume 2 and Volume 1 with it. Okay, once it launches, you will no longer be able to get it at the practically free rate of less than $10 was the last I saw it at. I captured it for $3, right? But you can only do that if you are a member of DBA now, which is at about 17,000, I believe. Let's see how many DBA folks we got. Let's see. 17,400 members of DBA, right? You have to be a part of the community in order to get it at practically free, because once it rolls out, you will not be able to get it separately. It will always come with Volume 2 and Volume 1, which will always have MRR, but Volume 3 will be an affiliate product, and it will be $444. As an affiliate and a member of the community and affiliate, you get an $80 or $85, let's see here, $80 or $85 commission on it when you sell it. 80%, so $355 profit. Okay. $355 every time you sell Volume 3. You will still be able to sell Volume 2 and Volume 1 with 100% profit. But 80% ain't bad. It's very generous in my opinion. So, but hear me out. If you have Volume 1 and Volume 2, when it rolls out, what is this? When it rolls out, you got to pay $444 for it. Okay. Because you can't separate it. And it's a technical issue. It's not a greed issue. And that's why there's this huge push for you to not only join, but if you are a member of DBA, go to Volume 3 and upgrade now. Worry about if you actually want to sell it or not later. Because I already know how y'all do. You're gonna see it and you're gonna want access to it, but then you're gonna have to pay for $444 for it. And you already have Volume 1 and 2. So there's been well over a month of notification and push to get people to not only get signed up for Volume 3 for like $3, $5, $8, but also get your affiliate link. Okay. There's also promotional material. So if you're in DBA Volume 2 and 3, 2 and 1, you can actually go in and you can see Volume 3. You don't have access to Volume 3 just yet, but you will be able to see the promotional materials that are in there. Okay, so I'm showing here. All right, so there's the click for your affiliate link. You now have early access. Click here because I upgraded. If you have not, the whatever is on the screen for you to upgrade will be there. Okay. So DBA Volume 1 and Volume 2. Remember, Volume 1 is making bricks without straw. It's how do you literally create something from nothing. And then Volume 2 is now that you've gotten the swing of things and you're making some money, how do you take that money and make that money work for you? Right? How do you take that money and put that money to work for you? For it to multiply, it also is going to introduce you to some more um, high income platforms like Pinterest, LinkedIn, and YouTube. There's things in there for print on demand, Etsy, more content creation, faceless marketing, monetization over on Facebook, wholesaling, real estate, Turo, Amazon KDP. I mean, you name it. This thing is loaded. Now there's Lemonade in there. And from what I understand, there's also going to be some additions um, to the current modules as well. Okay, so keep that in mind. Now let's look at, let's go back and let's look at volume. Oh, we just looked at volume 2, so we looked at that. Okay, so you can, the link is on the screen or in my bio. For DBA Volume 2, I recommend getting it with Volume 1. You can break it up into 4 payments with Klarna, which breaks it down to about $55, and you can do that over 2 weeks. And depending on your relationship with Klarna or Afterpay, I believe you might even be able to make it, stretch it out even longer than that. I'm not a big fan of doing that for such a small amount, but you do you. It's your business, it's your life, it's your finances. Who am I to tell you what to do with it? That's not my place, not my problem. That's just not my problem. Okay. So Pinterest is definitely still a very viable platform. I expect things to pick right back up. In fact, if this weren't an election season, I would already see that they were continuing to go up because they were going up. And then just this month, I've noticed that they've been going on a little bit of a steady decline, but I think that decline has kind of bottomed out and we will see it begin to pick back up. But just keep in mind not only we're not guaranteed to see steep incline once the election season is over. It's still going to be impacted by more advertisers advertising their shoppable video. And if you're seeing a decline and you're only focusing on static video, you probably want to throw some video into the mix. And that is where a strategy session with me, we can audit your Pinterest. In fact, I used to actually offer a discounted rate for that on TikTok. So if that's something you would be interested in, let me know while I am live and I can get that link to you, because I don't think it's available publicly anymore for the discounted, and that's only like 30 minutes though for that price. I think it was like $79. It's like 30 minutes, might even be 15 or 20, I can't remember, to audit your Pinterest. And then if you need help creating a strategy, I would definitely book a full 90-minute, even half day session, because the faster we can create this strategy, you still have time, we can start actually creating pins together. I have done that with several clients. And here's the thing, when it comes to Pinterest, you have to put in the work. You have to put in the work, right? But the work is honestly easy once you develop your rhythm. And so that's what the Pinterest strategy with me is really going to help you do, is really nail down what your Pinterest rhythm is. But it's still on you to work it. Unless you going to pay me to show up every day and work it with you, and that's going to cost you a lot, you're going to still have to, you or somebody that you pay is going to have to show up and work that daily. Okay. So it's Friday. and I got a bunch of other stuff to do. So I'm going to get ready to go. I might come back later, but if your Pinterest views are down, you now know why. And you also know what to do, who to go see to work on that and rectify it for going forward. So thanks for watching, and I will chat with you soon.